Well, hello everybody. It's myself and everyone. This is not, you haven't accidentally clicked on last night's show. This is a different show. Basically, ladies and gents, my wife is out at the theatre tonight watching Jason in his Technicolor Dreamcoat with some failed pop star or something. So I decided that we would go live and just talk a little bit about, believe it or not, comic books. Mine and Efren's favorite topic. So Efren, ages since I've seen you. How are you, sir? How are you?
I'm doing well, Peter. Peter, I think I like watching intro videos that I've never seen before. This was a good intro video. You're doing really well. I know we both used Canva,
yeah.
But you do a better job than me. I may have to hire you. You know, you can do my intro videos.
My rates are very reasonable, Efren. My rates are very reasonable. No, I just like to mess around with it now and then and just change the different ones. But yeah, no, if you want to see a good intro, the guys over on the Geek Week podcast that I've joined, their intros are obscenely kind of professional and very different to the kind of stuff I pull together.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, it's always nice to see you, Efren. We've got some interesting stuff to go through tonight. We're not going to keep everybody long. It's just a short show, just to kill a bit of time, really. But let's see who we've got in the chat. We've got Aussie AC. Oh boy, was the geek world rocked. If I make it onto the stream, I've got lots to say. I don't mind repeating myself. So hopefully you do manage to get to join me later on, mate. He put these comments on much earlier in the morning. If you don't know from his title there, he's in Australia. So hopefully you'll be able to jump on. I suspect he's referencing the sad state of affairs with the Sandman publisher. I don't know if you've seen any of that, Efren. We are going to cover it later on. And Neil Gaiman, have you seen any stuff about Neil Gaiman?
No, I haven't seen anything, no.
Oh dear. We'll get to that in a bit.
Okay.
Fuzzy. Yeah, this is also about Neil Gaiman. If you've got any Sandman tattoos, I suggest getting them covered.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's just so sad. But we'll get to it. We will get to it. We've got Terry. Nice to see you, Terry. Good evening. Good evening to you, my friend. We've got Mr. Keegan himself. James is, well, no, he's not in Amsterdam anymore. He's been in Amsterdam for a couple of days. He's just landed back in Ireland. If he gets the chance, he's going to jump on when he gets home. But he may not. We'll just see how it plays out. But from all accounts, he's had a cracking time when he's over there. So
who's James? I don't know the guy.
He's about 13, I think. He's just a young kid, Efren. You probably haven't met him before. Fuzzy is saying he remembers that Keegan fella. Yeah. We've got James is keeping the chat going. What's up, boys? Oh, Ozzy is here. Nice to see you, bud. Nice to see you. I hope you are well. And we've got Jack. Nice to see you, Jack. And Wayne. Good old Wayne. Wayne, hello, you sexy lot. Nice to see you as well, Wayne. Thank you very much for joining, everybody. Like I say, tonight's dead relaxed. Just a bit of chat. Really want you guys in the chat to chuck stuff in as well. If there's stuff you want to talk about or you want to tell about, let me know. Tell about your comics, what you've been reading. I'm going to do some giveaways as well.
Nice.
So we'll get to that in a second. But we're going to talk comic books that we've been reading, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the recent news that has been happening. So I'm going to start off with this. Now, Efren, you might not have seen this yet because I know you're earlier in the day. You're about what, lunchtime? You're about 12 o'clock where you are now?
A little bit after 12 right now.
So I'm not sure if you'll have seen this or not yet, but Daredevil, the trailer.
Love it.
Yeah. So for those of you in the chat, if you've not seen this is the new trailer for Daredevil and Born Again. What did you think, Efren? What did you think of this trailer?
I said, oh my God, I can't wait for this show to come out. I don't know how many episodes it's going to be. I keep on hearing there's going to be 20 episodes. I think it's going to be somewhere between 10 and 20 episodes.
Yeah, I think they reduced it, didn't they?
Yeah, I loved it. The trailer that they showed, I was like, dang, this was violent. It reminded me of a Netflix show that they used to be on. I was like, I just can't wait for this series to come out. I have my fingers crossed. I like that they're bringing back Karen Page and Foggy. They weren't originally.
I was going to say originally they were, certainly Karen wasn't going to be in it, was she?
They were not. And I don't know whose idea it was, but I think, smarter heads prevailed and they brought him back. And then that little, if you haven't seen it now, we're talking about spoilers, sorry, but the Punisher comes out too. And that one character, I remember he's new. He came out like about 5 years ago, and they're incorporating him, the guy with the mask and the white hood over it.
Yeah.
I remember that run. It was a very violent run. in the comic book. So it's a comic book character.
I mean, they're going to squeeze a lot into this series because, like you say, they've got Punisher making a comeback. They've got Bullseye making a comeback. White Tiger's in there. You've got Karen and Foggy. Fisk going for May. And the way the trailer sets it up is that Daredevil is retired.
Yes.
Vigilante anymore, and then he seems to come back for some reason. I think the thing that threw me was there's been this undercurrent for a long time, hasn't there, about Marvel, Disney. Now Disney's got Marvel, it'll not be as violent, it'll not be as bright. I don't think we've seen that. I think we saw with Echo that it can do violence just as well as anything else. Yes. And then the violence at the end of this trailer, it's some of the most graphic Marvel violence, because it's not, how can I put it? It's not silly superhero violence. It's not monsters and aliens and space beams. It's people's legs being broken and things like that. And there's one scene in particular where the guy's legs kind of outstretched and he jumps on it. And I was like, that's... So, yeah, I think I'm hoping this is going to be really, really good.
This is why I like Daredevil, because I would say they're street level heroes. It seems more, if you consider it, true, if you consider superheroes true, I just can't wait. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. And I hope we see more of this, I think this is what the fans want. It's what I want,
Absolutely. And this shot from the trailer of all the different headpieces is interesting because that indicates that he's been, we haven't had the Daredevil TV show on for a long, long time, really. But this to me indicates that he's been continuing, even though we've not seen it, he's still been there being Daredevil for years, Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's going to be, I'm hopeful, very hopeful. Just see what the chat are saying, Efren. We've got Terry is saying it looks very violent. It really does, Terry. It really, really does. Wayne hasn't seen the trailer yet. Make sure you check it out after the show, obviously, Wayne. Check it out because it does look very cool. Fuzzy, even if this is average, people will still claim it's a masterpiece. I think that's true, Fuzzy, and I think that's because of the love of the character of Daredevil. Seeing that, mind, the original Ben Affleck Daredevil movie got a bit of a slaughtering from fans, didn't it? I don't think that was too bad. You seen that one, Efren?
It was entertaining, all those years ago. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. So I've still not gotten round to, because apparently there's like a director's cut or something with additional scenes in it. I've not seen that yet. But I didn't mind the original Daredevil. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the original Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. Keegas, it was initially something mad like 25 episodes, but they've pulled it back to 10. Yeah, absolutely. James, who are you trying to kid with that picture as well? That profile pic? That's not you. That doesn't look anything like you. You photoshopped that and stuff. Hasn't the rewrites basically been the whole season? Yeah, Terry, there was some talk last year, wasn't there? That I think, am I right in saying that they pretty much went back to scratch from it? A lot of it had been filmed and binned it and started again. Fuzzy, there's some dull parts of the Netflix shows, but people are very forgiving. No, Fuzzy, I completely agree with you. I think some of the Netflix shows, I've never even watched Defenders. I liked Alias, Jessica Jones, but that dragged at points as well, particularly the second season. And even, like you say, Daredevil at points was dragged, I think, a lot. I think they could have condensed it a lot more. So, yeah, I think that's a fair comment, Fuzzy. Terry, I've yet to watch the third season. Is it worth it? Of Daredevil? Absolutely, Terry. It's a good one. I think it's a really good one. Wayne, still need to finish watching the rest of Daredevil series, only on season 2. Yeah, it's well worth watching season 3, but wasn't the broken leg bit being done to Matt Murdock? Oh, I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and rewatch that, Terry. I didn't notice that. Did you, Efren?
No, it happened so quick. I didn't actually see whose leg was being broken.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Ozzy, I was a fan of the original film. Yeah, I thought it had some really cool imagery in it, like the Daredevil, very kind of iconic image that I think Joe Quesada did of Daredevil on the cross with his billy clubs wrapped around and stuff. And I think they did that in the film very well.
Yeah,
I thought it was good. Wayne liked the Daredevil movie, good stuff. We've got Jack, nice to see you, bud. Hope you are well. Hope you're good. And we've got Ken. Nice to see you, Ken. Hope you're doing well as well, my friend. Okay, so that's a little bit about Daredevil Born Again. And that will be our hashtag for the night. Hashtag Born Again. Stick that in the chat throughout the show, and we will do some some giveaway at the end of the show to pick out some comics. So
sorry, Peter, one more thing about Daredevil. I noticed one character was missing. It was Elektra. I don't know if she's going to be in this series, you know.
I can't. Was she in the original? Was she in the Netflix? Oh, she was in the Netflix run, wasn't she?
She was, I think, in season 3. I think she's such a main part of this character in the comic books. You know, I was kind of hoping to see her again, but you know,
I can't remember who played her in the Daredevil TV show.
She was in. She has a show on Fox called the Cleaning Lady. I forgot her name. You know, she's like a doctor that witnesses a murder, and you know, they call her the Cleaning Lady. You know, but I remember the actress, but I don't remember her name.
Do you know what? It's that long since I watched the Netflix Daredevil. I mean, that crikey, someone in the chat remind me, when did that finish season 3? It must be a good 5 years or so, I would have thought. We've got Brother John. Nice to see you. Hope you are well, my friend. So please pop #BornAgain in the comments, and we will pick some winners for some comic books a little bit later on. Okie dokie. Speaking of comics, let's talk a little bit about some reviews. Again, chip in the chat, guys, if you've read these. Efren, if you've read any, let us know. First off, we've got Lucky Devils. This is from the writer and the team behind 8 Billion Genies, which I've just recently read, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Fuzzy Dunlop got us onto this. I've picked up 3 or 4 of the variant covers, even though I said I wasn't going to be doing that anymore. But this was an enjoyable little read. I quite like this. The premise of this is basically everybody on Earth has got demons that live with them and basically act out one of the 7 deadly sins kind of things with them. And these demons go rogue. And are trying to change up things on Earth so that they can get a bit of a promotion down in hell. It was an interesting first issue. It's definitely something I'll continue reading. It's a limited series, so I think this will be pretty interesting. Terry saying he enjoyed this one, and Fuzzy saying really enjoyed issue 1. There's something there, he thinks. I think you're right, Fuzzy. I think this has got a lot of potential. And I was just reading today that 8 Billion Genies apparently is being optioned. So expect a movie or a series coming out about that soon. Fuzzy is saying Daniel Warren Johnson is writing and drawing a Wolverine story in Wolverine 8, which is their 400th Wolverine issue. Wow. We've got Wolverine issue 5. Are you up to speed with Wolverine at the moment, Efren? Have you been reading any of these books?
I have been reading it, but I don't remember what it's about. But I have been reading it.
So I picked this one up because just the cover intrigued us, really. I don't know what the hell is going on. So the adamantium is now, there's another version of adamantium. It's on the cover there. Adamantine, which is kind of possessing and talking to people.
Oh, wow.
So it gets kind of onto the people who've got adamantium in the bodies, and it possesses them in some way. I don't know. It was an interesting little read. I have to say it's not a one I'll rush to go back and reread. It's not a one that particularly jumped out at us. I'm sure if you're a Wolverine fan, it's great. But I don't know, it just felt a bit weird to me that I'd be interested to know, even though I'm not going to read it, I'd be interested to know what it's all about. So if someone can explain it to us, because it felt strange that the metal was now kind of a sentient thing. Didn't they do that with Thor's hammer a while ago? Didn't his hammer become sentient?
Yeah, they realized that Mjolnir was sentient, and for a while, Odin was in this hammer too.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, interesting. Fuzzy's saying that cover looks like a Bohemian Rhapsody video. Yeah, I think that's what it's meant to be, Fuzzy. Yeah. It looks pretty cool. I can't pronounce that, Terry.
Elodie Young.
Okay, Elodie Young. I'm not sure. I'm trying to rack my brains about how it ended for her in the Daredevil show. But yeah, I'm surprised. I'm sure she'll make a comeback at some point.
Yeah.
Where Monsters Lie, issue number 3. I am loving this series. This is a sequel to the original mini-series Where Monsters Lie, where basically all of your kind of your horror icons and your serial killers and murderers and things like that all live in these little kind of communes and get sent out by some central agency to commit murders and killings and things. This is just a silly tale to read. If you like your horror, if you like your monsters and your chainsaw massacres and all that kind of stuff, this is worth reading. So yeah, be enjoying that one as well. Bit of Star Wars news. Interested in your thoughts on this, Efren? I forgot this gentleman's name, but the guy without the lightsaber is from Game of Thrones. He was a central character in that. Huge bloke, and he's now being cast to take over the sad departed Rhys Hewson's character in Ahsoka. There was a lot of talk at the time about whether that character should just kind of disappear or not. At the end of Ahsoka, he was wandering around and he found some artifact on the planet, didn't he? Some carvings or something. And I think all the Star Wars guys who were very into the mythology were quite excited by that. It meant nothing to me, I have to say. What do you think? Do you think it's good that he's been recast, or should they have just left this alone?
First of all, the actor that's replacing him, his name is Rory McCann.
That's right. Yeah.
I think they should replace him. He was such an intriguing character and such a main part of Ahsoka. Fortunately, he passed away. But I mean, just his persona. Hopefully, this actor will do a good job at it. He'll have his own take of it. But I think they have to continue his storyline too. Find out what happens to him also besides Ahsoka.
I completely agree. Efren, and I think it's hard to make a judgment call in situations like this, isn't it? In terms of what's more respectful to the actor. But I guess, you want his character to live on in some regards, and his story wasn't finished. So I think this is fine. And I think, the chap who's taken over is certainly a powerhouse. He was excellent in Game of Thrones. So I think he'll pull this off quite nicely. I think this is a good casting decision. Fuzzy's just saying here, did you read Lay My Vengeance Upon Thee? I haven't read that one, Fuzzy. Religious horror, exorcism type story. Going to read on. The art is a bit different, though. Okay, I'll check that one out. You haven't read that one, Efren, have you?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I'll have a go at that one, Fuzzy, see what it's all about. Okay, bit of Star Wars, continuing on with that. We've had the last episode of Skeleton Crew, so no spoilers, so don't panic. Have you watched it yet, Efren?
I have not. I'm about it. I think I'm on what episode? How many episodes were there? 8?
8, I think. I want to say 8.
I think I'm up to 7. I'm up to the one where the kids escape on their own.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at. It's been a good story, and it has a title Star Wars in it. But I'm glad they're deviating from the trilogies and not talking about Luke and Leia and Han that much. It just shows us that they can do a good Star Wars story if they're good writers.
Yeah. So I've enjoyed this series. We've talked about it a bit on the channel, and I've thought it's been quite good fun. The last episode wrapped it up quite nicely, really. It's left it open, without spoilers, it's left it open to continue on this tale if they want to. But it also gave quite a nice, satisfying kind of conclusion to things. Bit of action, bit of argy-bargy in there, bit of fighting and stuff. I've found this to be an interesting little series. Worth a watch if you're on the fence about it. It is more kiddie friendly, I'd say. But I've enjoyed it. As Fuzzy says, I'm the same, Fuzzy. I'd like more from these characters as well. I've enjoyed the show a lot more than I expected to enjoy it. And I've really enjoyed Judd Law, to be honest. Yeah,
me too. I was going to say, one thing Star Wars always seems to do good at is getting droids that people care about. They always seem to be right on top of that,
Fuzzy's saying here, recasting the character isn't the biggest issue with Ahsoka. They need better writing. Can't disagree with that. I think this has been a good little series, well worth checking out. Now, I'm a bit kind of off X-Books at the moment. I got very excited with the relaunch. I thought it was going to be really, really good. And it hasn't floated my boat at all. However, I picked up Magic issue number 1 last week. Magic's one of my favorite X characters from back in the day when she was in the New Mutants and things. I've kind of lost touch with her over the last year or two. This was brilliant. Thoroughly enjoyed this. Great artwork inside, great story, lots of monsters and demons. It felt like a bit of a callback to the character's past, really. You got talk of Limbo in there. You got some images of the Dark Child. all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I really, really like this one. Really liked it. Well worth reading, that one. I think it's an X-book I can recommend, which is unusual for me to be able to say, I have to say. Aquaman #1. Do you read that one, Efren?
Not yet, but I am. It's on my list to read.
So this is an interesting one. This is kind of the new DC All-In, where all of the powers have been amplified or jumped around a little bit. So Aquaman's now got, what did they call it? Is it aquakinesis or something? Which basically means he can control water. So he can form weapons out of water and make the tides rise and stuff. I kind of thought he could always do that, to be honest. But that's been touted as his new ability. This was all right. It didn't blow us away. The artwork was nice. Ended on a decent cliffhanger. For someone who's not interested in Aquaman, it made us care about the first issue. So yeah, I thought it was okay. It was worth a read. We've got Phil here. Nice to see you, Phil. Hope you're well, bud. And we've got Deadman saying, enjoyed the first issue of Aquaman. Plenty of slagging off, though. Don't know why. I thought it was okay, Terry. I thought it didn't blow us away, but I'm not an Aquaman fan. But this was enough probably for us to read on, I think. Mira's powers. That's right. So the powers Mira used to have to control water, Aquaman's now got. Magic's one of them characters that always looks good on covers. Even the trade dress looks great. Yeah. It is. You're right, Fuzzy. She's stunning. This was an interesting one. I think we talked about this last night, Efren, about the new champions. I think you recommended picking up issue 3, and it had the Vision cover for March. Yeah. This is the relaunch. I gather all of these characters have been introduced in a Spider-Woman book. They're an interesting bunch. I couldn't tell you any of the names. I'm not really familiar with any of them, but again, they're like legacy characters. We've got a Ghost Rider kind of teen version there, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, Scarlet Witch, and various others. For a first issue, it was okay. It again didn't blow us away, but I don't think I'm the age demographic for this book. But it interested us enough to want to read on. Some interesting new characters in there. I would imagine people are now clamoring for their first appearances, thinking they're going to be the new hot thing. Are you familiar with any of the characters on that cover?
So these characters are they related to the original characters, Moon Knight, or just no?
I'm not sure, Efren. I haven't read the first appearances.
Okay.
They've all got some kind of link to like the character that they're emulating, I think. I don't know enough.
That's their first appearance then. They've been in other books before this? Okay.
Yeah, I think they appeared in a Spider-Woman comic. And there's like a follow-on tale in this book, and it talks a little bit about the appearance in Spider-Woman for some of them. But yeah. Bad Bear, the champion's art looks shite. It's very, very 90s, is what I would say, Bad Bear. It's very 90s. Nothing Aquaman will ever beat his new 52 run. Top 3 runs for that. Was that Jeff Jones, Jack? Because if that's the run I'm thinking, where it introduced kind of the creatures from the deep, the dark, or whatever it was, the cannibal creature things, that was really good run. And I quite like the run when he got his hand eaten off as well by the piranhas.
Yeah.
Put on.
How did he get his hand back? Does anybody know?
He just got better, didn't he? I haven't got a clue. So yeah, a few more books there. 28 years later, lots of excitement about this show at the moment. The trailer came out a little while ago. People got excited thinking that Cillian Murphy was in the trailer and was some kind of zombie thing. They've now confirmed it absolutely wasn't him, and that he'll not even actually appear in the first movie, which is interesting because he's kind of the big star power, I would have thought. Interestingly as well, the director has come out and said that he didn't realize that people would mistake the zombie in the trailer for Cillian Murphy, which is interesting because it does look very much like him, and I just assumed they'd done that on purpose. This is an interesting franchise. This is the one that you've watched, Efren. Have you seen any of the 28 Days Later movies?
There's more than one 28 Days Later movie? I thought it was just one.
No, so there's 28 days and then 28 weeks.
Oh, okay. I got to catch up before this comes out, so. No, I've never seen them, though.
Right. Good films. Really interesting films. I'm excited for this. I think this is going to be pretty cool. Jack saying, yes, it was a class run. That's the Jeff Jones Aquaman. And it was Peter David that cut his hand off. It was, Deadman. It was. Just a reminder, guys, stick hashtag born again in the chat for a chance to win some comic books later on in the show. Okie dokie. I just wanted to mention some TV shows I've been watching recently, not necessarily geek related, but this is a nice little show on Netflix, worth watching. It came to my attention because it's got Steve Pemberton in it, who's one of my favorite actors from Inside Number 9. And this is an interesting little story about a police detective who works on missing people cases, and gets involved with kind of trying to locate some missing people who've disappeared and are being trafficked and basically used to empty the bank accounts, and then it links in with her missing partner and all that kind of stuff. It's really interesting. It's only about 6 episodes, I think. So well worth checking out if you haven't seen it. It's an easy watch, quite good little bit of intrigue, worth checking out. Heyo,
What's up?
how are you?
Hey,
All good. What's happening?
Freshly returned from overseas.
I literally just walked in the door like 5 seconds
That's
ago.
commitment. That's
I think,
dedication.
I think you're on the wrong show. The background looks like one good scare.
My room, I just dumped all my shit on the bed, so my room's a state now. So I'll just I'll leave that off.
I mean, that's normal, isn't it?
There's my dad. Come in.
Oh, there's your
I'm on
dad.
the show. What are you doing? What? Get the cook already.
Hello, Mr. Keegan.
Fucking. That couldn't have been timed any better, could it? That could not have been timed better. He comes in, crisp. Where's the crisps? Yeah, there you go.
Bless him.
Yeah.
So, anyway, before we continue on, then, James, how was Amsterdam? Tell me a little bit about Amsterdam.
It's a lovely city. It's like Dublin, but nicer, like
it's a shame.
friendlier. Like there's not like kind of ropey lads going around and stuff, which is ironic, considering. Well, it's probably because everything's legal there, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. It was an interesting. It's an interesting vibe. Like walked up the red light district, and that was fun.
So, how did you find that? Because lots of people say it's quite uncomfortable when you're walking around it.
I walked it twice. I walked with my girlfriend, and that was like fun and cute and a bit spicy. But then when you do it on your own, you feel like a pervert.
I mean, why did you do it on your own when you were there with your girlfriend?
I went for a walk later on my own.
yeah, of course you did, James. That old chestnut.
It just feels a little,
popping
it
out.
just feels like 'cause they're so aggressive that like on the windows, like if you glance at them, you know, like, and I know you're supposed to be able to, like, you should be able to just like look because you're like shopping almost, you know.
Oh my God.
That's the way it is there. But yeah, no, it's a cool city. Like it's really nice. Like it's fun. I go back definitely.
By yourself?
I would not survive as a was there by myself. I think I need someone to bring me back.
You sent me some nice photos of different foods that you'd been eating there. Some ice creams. I couldn't help but notice there were some cookies, James, and some brownie type things.
No. So the cookie is like a really famous cookie there. It's this like really fancy looking bakery, right? They only do that cookie. That's the only thing they make. And there's like a glass wall where you can see the people making them. And they're like in these fancy boxes.
Glass wall, we call them windows. Does that know a window?
I took a bite of it and I was like, that's the fucking best cookie I have ever had. Like it was like gooey, like crispy on the outside. You see them on TikTok, like it's a famous place. But it was right around the corner from the hotel, so we stopped there and I was like, wow. And I bought other cookies. And just had one there a few minutes ago, and it's just like a cookies are ruined for me now. I think.
Did you buy special cookies? I guess that's what I'm getting at.
I'm not going to divulge the ins and outs of my holiday.
That's a yes. That's a yes. That's a yes. Of course you did. Yeah. Did you get to the Anne Frank Museum, or was that not?
I heard it's crap. I heard it's just a bloody house. Like, what's the point? The only museum I wanted to do more museums like this. Some interesting.
What do you mean? It's just a house. It's a pretty important.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, there's not like a bunch of art.
Theme park. It's not a roller coaster.
No,
you know what I mean.
I just heard like it's hyped up more than it's worth. So
I still would like to see that.
Yeah. But we did the Ripley's Believe It or Not museum. That was really good. That was really fun. My favorite part of the whole trip was there's this like, it's like lights on a wall and the wall's spinning, and when you walk in, if you feel like your balance gets knocked off, like you feel like you're spinning. It was really cool. It's fun. I sent you a picture of the giant transformer thing.
You did, yeah, you did. Yeah. Did the entire place stink of weed?
You get a whiff of it every now and then, but like it's mostly in the coffee shops, isn't it? So like there's like it's not just like a constant smell of it everywhere. But like, you know, a lot
That's
of
my
people do
fear,
smell
because you
it.
know what I'm like with the smell of smoke and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that stench all the time, you know.
You will notice it like from time to time, but it's not like the entire city just stinks of it. Like it's not the case. And that's bad. It's like you're not allowed smoking outside in certain parts of the city, so like the red light district and like the surrounding parts of that and all the touristy spots.
Sorry, as ever, Fuzzy is just, you know, hyped up. Yeah, she only survived in that thing.
Well,
exactly,
a lot of people did.
Do you know what I mean?
So,
They could have put a bit of effort in. Do you know what I mean? At least
I thought the point was that she didn't survive.
or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
She didn't survive the Nazis.
Right, let's see.
All right.
I just binge watched On Call on Amazon earlier. US copy show, decent watch. I don't think I've seen that one, Fuzzy. I've not seen that one. Send us an image of that one, Fuzzy. I'll check that one out. We're into looking for new stuff to watch at the moment. Yeah, I wish a year's prize of Netflix not quite made. Dad, I'm with my friends. At least you didn't catch it with a dirty mag in your hand or a lot of.
Oh, I had a very nice apple pie in Switzerland as well.
Again, by yourself, no doubt.
Winkle 90.
Oh, Winkle.
Winkle 97 or something. The place is called.
Fuzzy wants pics of your holiday of the red.
I will send some Fuzzy. I'll send you now a slideshow.
Window hopping. Oh God! Did you see many windmills? Fuzzy's asking.
I didn't see one.
Really?
No.
I thought they were everywhere.
No, I thought we were on the train because it's like a 20-minute train from the airport to the city. Right. I assumed I'd see a couple, but there's none.
Interesting. Phil's mentioning the red link. Yeah, Peter, you sound like an old man again. I know, Fuzzy. I know. I am an old man. Yeah, it's only a cupboard under the stairs. Jesus God, she survived long enough to write a book. That's enough. Walking through New York, all you smell is weed. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that, Phil, since they legalized it over there. Friend of mine.
I haven't been there since they legalized.
Yeah, a friend of mine went. I think I mentioned this to you a while ago. A friend of mine went with our kids for New Year, to do the whole shopping thing and stuff like that. She said it was horrendous. It just absolutely honked everywhere you went. Central Park and stuff like that, which is a shame. It smells good. It's a manky smell. It's horrible. Winkle apple pie. Have you seen that video on Rob Fatsack's Only Steps?
I haven't. I'll check that out. Maybe he talks about it.
What's a Winkle apple pie?
The Winkle is the cafe I went to and had the apple pie.
Ah, right. Okay.
Very nice apple pie.
Good stuff. Couple more comics just to mention before we move on, guys. Absolute Batman. Been talking about this one a lot. It's absolutely stonking. And we talked about this on Efren's show yesterday. Just a great series. Enjoyed the last issue. Interested to know your thoughts in the chat. I know Fuzzy and me were chatting a little while ago. They do something different with the art style in this issue because there's a lot of flashbacks. And you see his progression as he's changing his role as Batman. So his first costume and then later on costumes. It was interesting. But I can see why the art style might not work for some people. I was dead excited for Jim Henson Presents, which is going to be an anthology tale with all these different stories in it. Now,
that sounds cool.
On that cover, you've got the promise of stories from Farscape, Labyrinth, Fraggle Rock, and the Dark Crystal, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Out of all of those franchises, see if you know us. Out of all those franchises, which one do you think I was most excited to read a story from?
I'd imagine Labyrinth.
Efren?
The dark one, Dark Crystal?
No, James is right. Labyrinth. Absolutely love the Labyrinth. Guess which franchise doesn't appear in the book at all?
Fuck's sake.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the what? So I sat through bloody Fraggle Rock, which is fine, but I haven't watched Fraggles since I was bloody 5 or something like that. Farscape didn't really float my boat back in the day. Yeah. Dark Crystal I've never really cared for. Okay. And then the book just ended, so I was gutted.
So
gutted.
Is it 3 stories per book?
Well, this issue was 3.
Okay.
So
it would have made more sense to just do 3 stories from each. Like do a Labyrinth issue and then
I don't put it on the bloody cover. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This issue you've got Farscape, Dark, all right. Fair enough.
Fair point. Yeah. It also takes up like the biggest chunk of that cover as well. Like it's the
weird. Terry, Absolute was good. Dust to Dust was good. Loved the sepia art. Fuzzy Dust to Dust, I loved. I think it's got potential for something special. So that's interesting. So Dust to Dust for me. I heard a lot of very positive things about it. What I will say is the art style is phenomenal. I loved the artwork in it. Thought it was really, really cool. But it's a Western kind of tale, and I've never been, don't shoot us, Terry, I've never been that much into Westerns. And whilst I did enjoy the story, I'm not sure if it's got us hooked enough to want to continue on.
Right.
I don't know what I was expecting when I read it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's going to be some twist in it, some kind of monster. So I don't know if it's just literally a straightforward Little House on the Prairie kind of Western story. I ain't interested. Do you know what I mean? Because that's just not my wheelhouse, you know?
Yeah.
Efren, I would imagine you might like this. I mean, you lived through the Wild West, so you might like this kind of tale. Do you know what I mean?
It's like I remember the
I wasn't
the
gonna go
Wild
there.
Wild West fondly, man. Riding on my horses, yeah, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's interesting. I'm trying to figure out what the character in the middle is. It's
So this is the thing that doesn't really feature in it.
okay.
It's my understanding, and the guys in the chat might correct us. My understanding, Fuzzy's losing respect for us. My understanding is it's about an area that's been really hit hard with drought, and all the land is dry, and everybody's kind of selling up and moving on to California because the land's dead, basically. And there's this hint of a bone, a jaw piece found in the dirt and the sand, and then something to do with like a great sandstorm coming towards the town.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be more than it is. I just don't know. I'll probably read the second issue, see what it's like, and then hold off and let people like Fuzzy and Terry tell us whether it's good or not. But I don't know what this thing with the glass, because they're goggles, I presume.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like
know.
a gas mask kind of thing, isn't it? Like,
Yeah. Terry's saying, I think something is going to happen to the family driving away. A lot more serious than Little House on the Prairie. Yeah, it is. It is. More rawhide. Yeah. So, yeah. A few things in the works, guys. Just wanted to mention these. These are the Prime Video projects, and then some of the 2025 movies that are scheduled. Lots of stuff coming from Prime Video, and a lot of good movies coming out. I'll give you a few minutes to scan through them, and then maybe each of you talk about a couple that are interesting you. I'll start off and say that I'm hyped, absolutely hyped for the next season of The Boys. I think it's almost like they've planned it in terms of, you know, what's happening in America at the moment, and then the promos for the next season of The Boys. They've got Homelander on the lawn of the White House and stuff, because it's emulating kind of some of the way that things are happening over there. So I'm really looking forward to that. Can't wait for that. And I'm very, very excited to see what this Boys Mexico is going to be all about. I think that'll
didn't
be
even
quite
know that was a
interesting.
thing.
Yeah.
That's
So
what
there's
I'm
3 Boys. You've got Boys season 5. You've got Vote Rising.
Yeah.
Gen V, sorry, as well, and Boys Mexico. So they're really going all in on the Boys universe. It might be overkill. Don't know. But yeah, interesting. Out of that lot on the Prime Video stuff, Efren, is there anything that jumps out at you that's got you excited?
Let me see here. Following the Rings. Oh, Reacher season 3. I love that series. The first 2 seasons of it. Reacher seasons 1 and 2 is, you know, really good TV. The actor, he's trying to become Batman.
Yeah, he's massive.
Yeah,
He's
Alan
huge.
Rickson. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was Aquaman in the Smallville.
He was Cyborg
that's
as well.
right.
In
Jeez,
was he
forgot about that.
Cyborg? No, he wasn't Cyborg. Who was he in Titans? He was Hawk in Titans.
Yeah, and then he
And
was
also Invincible season 3. I really like this series. But one thing they've mentioned, I remember about The Boys. I think it might have Invincible too. That the gaps between seasons is so long that they lose viewers because of that.
Yeah.
You know, continuity. You know, you forget. You know, I wish they would just put them closer together somehow. You know.
Yeah, I agree. James, how about yourself?
I mean, Vault Rising, I'm very excited because that's the Soldier Boy like prequel series. So I'm stoked just like to see that character leading a thing.
Bit of Jensen in it.
Yeah, and I just think that'll be a fun, like having a kind of gruff asshole main character. I think it's a fun because we usually follow a decent character, you know. To have him just be an asshole and he's the lead, I think that's really fun. God of War, like that based on the video game, that's a lot of potential. I think that could have Last of Us level like potential. If they do it properly, so I'd be excited about that. And then Spider-Man Noir. So why is it changed it from?
Why have they changed it from Spider-Man Noir to just Spider Noir now?
Is
I
this
know-
an official thing from
So I've seen that in a lot of the promo stuff that they've dropped the
Spider-Noir?
man. Yeah.
Is Nicolas Cage going to be the voice, right?
No, he's that.
He's
He's playing it.
live action. He's the
Yeah.
character. Like,
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I thought it was an animated show. My bad.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to be really interesting.
yeah. And then there's not on Prime, but there's a trailer just dropped as I was walking in the door for a new Spartacus show. House
Oh,
of
right.
Asher, and I fucking love Spartacus with all my soul.
me
So
too.
I'm very excited
too.
for that show to continue.
Good stuff. Some great stuff there. Some great stuff coming. Let's just see what the guys in the chat are saying about that one. Whilst just I haven't looked at the movie schedule. For the movies, give us 2 that you're really looking forward to. Wayne is just saying here, looking forward to Reacher. I've never seen any Reacher.
It's good.
I need
It's a great series.
I've just seen clips, and
Is-
it
am I
looks,
right?
it looks very good.
Did Tom Cruise play Jack Reacher in the movies?
Yes.
Or something?
Yes.
In the
Yeah,
movie.
I've seen those, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 series of boys and only 1 of Gen V. It's all the same universe, I guess. To be honest, I think they should wrap the boys up this season and just move on to different things in the same universe.
The next season is last season. I think they can
Yeah.
do that. So.
Speaking of Gen V, the lead actor, he passed away last
did.
year. What
He
are they
did,
gonna
yeah.
do?
He
I
did.
believe they're not recasting. I think.
No, they're not. It's such a tragedy because
Yeah.
he was
great
fabulous,
standout, yeah.
absolutely fabulous in Gen. In fact, I like Gen V more than the last season of The Boys, I think, and he was absolutely stunning in it. So yeah, it was a tragedy, absolute tragedy. Let's have a look. Fuzzy is saying the Warhammer show is interesting because the film was slaughtered. It was horrendously bad. Do you know what? I didn't mind the Warhammer movie.
Warhammer.
I thinking of the wrong one.
Warcraft.
Warcraft. I'm thinking Warcraft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
World
I'm
of
thinking
Warcraft.
Warcraft.
Yeah, no, the Warcraft movie it wasn't amazing, but it was one of the
okay.
best video game movies at the time, I think.
Yeah. Running Man movie, a remake, Terry. It is, and it's Fuzzy told us. Oh, he's dropped it in the chat. Edgar Wright making it. Now I've heard nothing about that, so I'm looking forward to that. I think that'll be incredibly cool.
Warhammer show is the Henry Cavill one as well, isn't it?
The Warhammer show is, the
he's
Warhammer
starting
one
on
is,
it,
We've got Cliff on Comics. Nice to see you, Cliff. I hope you are well. Please go check out Cliff's channel over on YouTube and Instagram. He does incredible content, and he's an absolute bundle of love and joy. So please check him out. Okay, movies, guys. I'll start off. First off, I'm going to say this is not part of my 2 picks, but first off, I'm going to say, James, I don't know if you've seen any of the stuff about Wolfman yet. It's getting moderately positive reviews, but people are saying it's an incredibly long, drawn-out transformation movie.
Okay.
There's very little in it apart from 2 hours of transformation into a wolf.
I did see it's a 6 out of 10 that said it's in terms of like quality of filmmaking, it's up there with the Invisible Man, but the story's just not great. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm still looking forward to it. Anyway,
I mean, I can tell you straight off, I'm not going to be watching Five Nights at Freddy's 2 because the first one was appalling. I'm not.
It's contractually obligated, Peter. No, I'm afraid so.
I'm excited, aside from the Marvel stuff and Superman. Obviously, Superman's my number 1 for this. But I'm excited to see Mortal Kombat 2. Believe it or not,
that was my one as well.
Yeah, I love Mortal Kombat 1.
Same.
And I'm very intrigued to see where they go with Black Phone number 2. I loved Black Phone with Ethan. I think that again has the potential to be really interesting. How about you, James?
Mortal Kombat 2 would be one of mine. Like I love that first movie, even though it's like, and there's room for improvement, and I hope this one does. But like this one is going to be the real comic booky one. It's the actual tournament this time, so there's going to be loads of like fun nods, and just the structure of that is really good. Like just tons of fight scenes in it. I like the cast. Like I like Carl Urban. I think is a really good choice for Johnny Cage. So that should be fun. Yeah, Shao Kahn's in it, so we're gonna have like a cool like Thanos-y kind of villain in there as well. So like I think it's really interesting. So
I think when Mortal Kombat 2 comes out, we should do a review show, but we should all go topless and sing the Mortal Kombat theme. Do you not think?
No.
That would be fun. No, fair enough. It was worth a try.
No. I don't have the body confidence, Peter, that you exhibited on this channel in some ways. For me, I mean, like Until Dawn, there was just a teaser release for that yesterday. That I'm interested in the direction they've gone with it. It's like not just a typical remake kind of thing. So that it's a video game adaptation effort. If you don't know, the Peaky Blinders movie, I think it's called The Immortal Man. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
You know, to see Tommy Shelby back on the screen. I hope it wraps up the series as well. So.
Good stuff. Some good ones. Efren, how about you, mate?
If I only could see one movie in 2025, hands down, it would be Superman.
Absolutely.
I mean, the trailer just got to me. I went, oh my gosh, I can't wait for this movie to come out. Besides that, I'm on the left-hand side, The Bride. Didn't grab my interest. I'm presuming that they're talking about Frankenstein's Bride.
It is, yeah.
The focus on. Then actually on the right-hand side, there's a Frankenstein movie with Guillermo del Toro's too.
Yep.
And then The Naked Gun. And Liam Neeson.
I missed that. Where's that?
I feel like that's been coming for ages.
He's yeah. So they're gonna bring back that movie, which was hilarious, and the TV show too. But of course, and then the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And also on the right hand side, the ballerina. That's not the vampire one.
No, that's the John Wick. I
Okay.
didn't even clock that there. That's up there for me as well. And then Wake Up Dead Man is the Knives Out 3.
Oh yeah, of course.
So I'm very a
lot of good films, guys. A lot of good stuff coming next year. I'm another Final Destination movie. Quite interested in that.
Can't wait for that.
Interested in that.
I'm curious to see how Snow White's gonna be because it's gotten so much bad publicity from the actors on that show, on that movie. You know, one of it's gonna tank completely for Disney.
Well, you know, I think this year, because you have that, there's a couple of other like kind of socially controversial things. I think that'll show whether that has any credence in terms of like selling tickets. Do you know?
Yeah.
Like this movie, people have just shot on it. Is it going to make $1 billion anyway? Like, and then everyone can just shut up. Like it doesn't matter.
Well, there was a lot of negative press about Wicked before it came out, and
that's very true. Yeah, that's a really good point.
I thought it was good.
I loved it.
To play. So there's one TV show, Peter. I'm not sure if you're going to talk about it later on. That I think James. If it was only one show that James would watch coming out this year, it would be The Last of Us. It's coming back this year, right?
Yeah, baby, it is. Yeah. There's a new teaser, and it looks very very accurate. And I'm nervous. I am nervous about what the public reaction to it's going to be.
Looking forward to seeing it. Looking forward to seeing it. It was a good series, that one. Just a few comments. Mortal Kombat 2. Absolutely cannot wait to see that. We've got Von Hoot in the chat. Nice to see you, bud. And we've got Rod. Always nice to see you, my friend. I hope you are well. Please go check out Rod's channel. Get some great content on there. Terry, the day the Earth blew up. Is that the sequel to the day the Earth stood still? I've not seen that one.
The day the Earth blew up is the Looney Tunes movie. Like a 2D animated one, which is supposed to be amazing.
Okay.
Got really great reviews.
Von Hoot's in for we're naked review of Mortal Kombat. That'll be good.
Way.
That'll be good.
Let me work out for like a couple of years. I'll get back to you guys.
Thunderbolt. I've got a feeling. You know, I think Thunderbolts is going to be like Guardians. I think no one's going to expect it, and it's going to blow people's socks off.
That would be nice because, like, when you put that whole slate up there, even if I was counting in the Marvel and the DC stuff, I wouldn't have had any of it really at the top. Like, I'm not. I'm just passively looking forward to them now. I'm not like, oh my god, I'm so hyped for this thing because it's just like there's so many of them now.
Yeah. Nobody 2. I completely forgot about that. I really enjoyed Nobody. Have you guys seen that one?
No.
It's really interesting. I mean, it's a good few years since I've seen it. Can't remember the lead actor's name.
Bob Odenkirk.
But that's right. Yeah, it's basically one of these stories that you kind of he's been ex-military or ex-CI or whatever. I can't remember. And something happens to push him, and he has to kind of revisit all of his old training and stuff. And I can't remember. Someone in the chat remind us who plays his father in it, because it's an older actor and it's really good. The battle at the end is really, really interesting. So yeah, it's a good series. That it is a good series. We've got Wayne. Nobody 2 I'm looking forward to. Absolutely, bud. Josh Brolin is going to be a lead and running man. Looking forward to that one. Cliff, Superman, top of my list. Absolutely, Cliff. We've talked about that before me. I'm a right soppy sucker. I teared up on that one scene in the trailer where he kind of does the explosion and he grabs the young girl and covers her and saves her. I don't know why, but that for me just encompasses everything I need Superman to be. And Christ on a bike this year, we're going to need a bit of positivity, aren't we? And a bit of moral high ground. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Rod, thank you so much, mate. Really, really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's very, very kind of you.
So
do
me and
that.
Efren split that then. That one.
Yeah. No problem. No problem. I'll send it over. On my dead body. Nobody is great fun. A sequel could go either way. Absolutely. Absolutely fun hoot. Okay, guys. Just to mention again, TV stuff. Christopher Lloyd, that's who it was. Wayne, you're right. Christopher Lloyd plays the dad in it, I think. And it was, yeah, superb. Rivals. Now, this is not geeky related. This is not something I would normally watch. This is based on a Jimmy Cooper novel. It's just basically porn. It's on Disney.
I've heard.
I mean, literally, I'd convinced my wife to watch it because Fuzzy recommended it to me. Literally, you switch it on, and the first scene is someone's backside as he's banging this young lady, and it was like, oh, this is slightly uncomfortable viewing. Yeah. It's just phenomenal. Just the series is so much fun. It's basically about this TV exec who's trying to make his channel the best channel on British television. And he's a Lord such and such. That's David Tennant. And then he's surrounded in the countryside by all of these snobs and lords and ladies and upper class kind of twits and stuff like that. And they're all just vile creatures, really, the vast majority of them. I'm only on to episode 4, but it's got us hooked. Absolutely hooked. The performances are phenomenal. He's not on this image, and me and Fuzzy agree on this. One of the main draws for me, believe it or not, is Danny Dyer, who's an actor who I cannot really say I particularly like, but he's brilliant in this. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. It's worth watching. It is worth watching. But like I say, probably not with your kids. It's quite uncomfortable at times. Terry is saying Rivals is brilliant. Fuzzy, best show Disney Plus has to offer. Hope there's a season 2. Fuzzy's confirming there is. Yeah, lots of naked bits on display as well. And again, goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Efren, about people thinking, oh, Disney, if it's on the Disney Channel, it's all censored and stuff like that. Absolutely not. Episode 1, you see a gentleman's dong wandering around and wobbling about and stuff.
If they have it here on Disney Plus, I'll look into it, see if they have it here. I've never seen it,
Worth a watch, Efren. It's fun. Do you know what I mean? And I think for an American watching it might even be more fun because it's very much, it's set in the 80s, I believe, 70s or the 80s. And it's very much kind of British aristocrats and big parties and things like that. It's like Dallas, but in the UK. Do you know what I mean? Really worth watching. Really worth watching. Fuzzy's saying it's on Hulu over in the States.
Oh, okay. I'll check it out.
Terry's saying Rob Fatstacks loves it. I didn't know that. Danny Dyer is awesome, and I hate the bloke. I'm exactly the same. Although I've started to warm to him. Dyer's best performance by far. Yeah, worth checking out, guys. It's an interesting show, and the British acting talent in it is just phenomenal. There's some great performances. More comics. I'll rapidly go through these guys because I don't think you guys have read these ones. Deadpool and Wolverine first issue. Really enjoyed this. The art style was superb. Interesting story of I'm not going to spoil it for people, but a major ex-villain coming back into the fray. Makes his appearance on the last page, but he's kind of possessed Deadpool. And Deadpool's kind of taken over and shooting at Wolverine, and I'm trying to not spoil it. There's some really good scenes in it. Again, first time, bit like Magic, first time I've really enjoyed an X-rated book in a while. So 2 decent X books this month for us. And then we'll move on to Cable by Dave Paposi, a guy myself and Efren have interviewed. This is Love and Chrome, another relaunch of Cable basically, but this is a pretty good story as well. So again, an interesting one. This is focused predominantly on his techno-organic virus. He gets shunted back through time or through reality or whatever to an area where lots of people are infected with the techno-organic virus. It was a good first issue. I'll read on with that one. And then Absolute Superman is absolutely brilliant. Loving this interpretation of Superman, loving the storyline. I like what they've done with the costume. The artwork is phenomenal. In issue 3, we get Superwoman. So his mother kind of donning the Superman costume, which I loved.
Right.
Yeah, really cool. Really cool. Terry's just saying Absolute Superman is still decent. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it as well, Terry. It's a good read. Okie dokie. Now, this is interesting. I asked the chat on Instagram what have you read recently? What's the last good book you read? And I got this back. So Hyde Street #1 from Ian. Have you guys read Hyde Street?
I finally started reading it. It's good. I really
Really,
enjoyed it.
really good.
Yep.
Really good. I think it's something that you would like, James. It's a bit like a Tales of the Unexpected kind of universe where everybody goes to Hyde Street and they've all got some kind of issue, and like there's a little Boy Scout kid killing people and things.
It's a trip.
All right.
Yeah. Really interesting. So I think that's a great shout by Ian. Excellent series. Jack is saying Batman Dark Patterns. Lots of people have recommended that to us. Still not gotten around to reading it, but I will. It's supposed to be superb. So yeah, really, really cool. Von Hoot is saying In Bloom #1. Yep, issue 2 out next week. That was a favorite of mine from a few weeks back. So some good picks there, guys, for people to check out. Speaking of comics, have you guys seen this about Diamond? I know, Ephraim, we mentioned it yesterday. James, you might be new to this. Diamond Comic Distributors has gone into the file for bankruptcy, which is a bit of a big issue. They are very much saying that it's not going to impact on things. So whilst they've filed for bankruptcy, they're still trying to maintain the business and they're hoping to sell to various parties and restructure the organization of the company. Anyway you cut it, it's not good news. But it's something that's going to ripple through, I think, the comics industry. Interestingly, I think it was Brian put this chart up on YouTube the other day talking about the changes in the market over the last few years. So 2019, Diamond had distribution rights to all of the major comic book kind of companies. And then you can see in 2023 there how that's shifted to different houses. So there's no surprise really that the business model's kind of fallen on its backside and they've crumbled a little bit.
Weren't they? There was a lot. I vaguely remember at the time there being a lot of criticism of Diamond of like how they can damage stuff on the way, like was a really regular thing and stuff like that.
So if you speak to retailers, so people who run comic shops or have had online comic shops, there's a lot of negativity about Diamond in terms of the state of the books when they come, delays and things like that. They're not particularly well regarded, which is why I think a lot of people weren't concerned when they shifted to other companies, which is just sad because, I mean, the Diamond has been a big name in comic books as long as I can remember, really.
Yeah.
I was at a comic book store recently and they just happened to get some books from Diamond and they opened up the box. There was no padding or nothing. It was just the books in a box. Yeah, which is, I mean, that's the way they want to do business, but I was like, wow, nothing, no padding to protect the books. I want those 9.8s, 10.0s, but they were no padding.
That's a big shift in the market, Ephraim, isn't it? Because back in the day, people bought comics to read. Yeah. So send them in a box like that's not a problem. But now people are looking for the investment, I guess. Because it's the same over here with Forbidden Planet for us. They're just thrown on the shelves. Yeah. I would far rather pay an extra 10, 20 pence on my comic if it's coming bagged and boarded and it's being cared for, rather than just shoved in a cardboard box, then shoved on the shelf somewhere.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm not sure if these distribution companies have really moved along with that kind of that said, mind, can you imagine the logistics of trying to bag and board thousands upon thousands upon thousands of comics centrally somewhere? It would be a nightmare. I guess.
I think like you can bulk, you can have 20 to a pack of like seals, plastic wrap or something, you know what I mean? Like they're not just literally fecked in a cardboard box and they're sliding all over the place and all that,
Yeah.
There must be some kind of automation by now. Come on, with all this technology that we see nowadays, they can't figure it out.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely true. Fuzzy's just saying he's been reading Batman, Dark Patterns, and Freddy the Fix and In Bloom. Yep, all great books. I must read this Dark Patterns. Everyone's saying it's good. Fuzzy looks like Rival Season 2's autumn 2026. Dead Man, my local comic shop, get 25% of the stock from Diamond, and they are via somewhere else. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out over the next few months. To see if anybody picks them up. Fuzzy again was saying the other day, we suspect Penguin might buy them out completely. I don't know how this is going to impact, because Diamond in the UK do a lot of our action figures and toys and things like that as well. I don't know how that'll play out. Interesting to see. Dexter Original Sin. This is on Disney over here in the UK. I watched the first episode and told you guys that I wasn't sure. There was some interesting kind of choices in camera work and stuff like that. I think I'm up to episode 6 or 7 now. I absolutely friggin' love the series.
Good. Okay,
I've completely forgotten that no, that's not right. It doesn't faze me in the slightest that it's not Dexter, if you know what I mean. You hear his voice and all. It's just, it feels like part of the series of the original Dexter.
Well, that's good. Happy to hear that.
Christian Slater in it is brilliant. I tell you what, I know I gush over it all the time, but Buffy, good old Sarah Michelle Gellar, is superb in it. A lot of the acting talent they've got involved are just spot on. I'm really enjoying this series far more than I expected to.
I wanna jump into this because of the way it's framed. Like, I didn't watch the last one, the sequel series one. So I'm like,
you don't need to, James. I think the first episode it feels a bit kind of, because it's jumping back and telling you a little bit. Yeah. That's only the start. After that, this could be a completely separate series about a serial killer basically being born, you know, because that's what this is. He's on to his third kill now, and he's having that recollection that actually now, according to the government, I'm officially a serial killer. And how does he feel about that and stuff? It's just great. I'm loving it. I'd be interested in the chat if anybody else is watching this and what they're thinking of it, because it's blown my socks off, I have to say. It's got us very excited because they've announced that they're going to do a John Lithgow Trinity Killer series of the same style with his voice in a young person's body. Cool. So if it's like this, it'll work. Sorry, Efren, I cut you off.
Oh, sorry. I was just wondering. I noticed a lot of shows that you guys get on Disney Plus, like this show. To me, it would seem like a little bit risque for this show to be on Disney Plus. But on here, do you guys get like Paramount Plus app or Showtime apps there?
We have Paramount Plus. So the way it works here is, like, Disney owns a lot of the streaming apps over there, like Hulu, for example. So a lot of that comes to a thing called Stars, which is an app on Disney Plus. So it's like, you have Star Wars, Disney, Marvel. Stars is a separate thing, and that's like adult content.
Okay. Gotcha. I'm just wondering. Yeah.
Pat Bear's just saying Diamond UK are the only part of the company that's still in the black. They've sent out an email to UK shops saying that it's still business as usual for now. That's good to hear. Fuzzy saying it's not lol. What's that, Fuzzy? I've missed the comment. What's not? Don't know what he means. Let me know what you mean, Fuzzy. Missed that, sorry. So yeah, that's Dexter. Very quickly, Ultimates. I really enjoyed Ultimates special number 1, which was all about Nick Fury. Thought I'd give this a go. This is Ultimates issue 8, introducing the Ultimate version of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Didn't do it for me at all. Fuzzy saying it's not on Disney. Is it on Paramount and Disney? Paramount Plus then. Can't remember. I watch that many shows and we've got all the different platforms. I get very confused with what the hell
I'm watching. Have a lot of spare time on your hands.
Not really. No, not really. I'm just more targeted with what I do. Okay. So Ultimates is, it was all right. Transformers, oh God, is Von Hood still in the chat? I'm getting bored now, I have to say. It's pretty.
I didn't think that would run up to this many issues. I thought it was only going to be a limited, like 8 issue, 10 issue kind of thing, you know?
Each issue doesn't feel like anything happens in terms of story. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of the same stuff every issue. So, I'm not sure. Yeah. Batman Full Moon. This is the book we talked to Rodney Barnes about, Efren. This is Batman basically fighting werewolves and becoming a werewolf.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're on book 3. The covers are really good. The artwork is hit and miss for me at times. This is a one I think I'm probably going to enjoy more when it's concluded and I can read it in one sitting. As a continuous story. Have you guys been reading anything?
I've been reading Transformers. I think I enjoy it more, to be honest with you, but this is the very first Transformers book I have ever read. I've never read a Transformers book. For me, I just enjoy it more because I've known of these characters, but like I said, I've been enjoying the book, and I have been reading Batman, the Wolfman one. So I've been liking it. So.
What do you think of the artwork on it, Efren, in the Wolfman one?
I like it. It's a little bit darker, obviously, because it's Batman. So, but yeah, I've enjoyed it overall. I just think, like we've said this before, without Batman, DC wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
And the way we know it now, so I just liked it. I've liked it so far. So the best book I've ever read now, but it's been enjoyable.
It's interesting because it doesn't feel like a Rodney Barnes book at times to me. It doesn't feel like his right. I don't know. It's interesting. Fuzzy, Constantine's face is diabolical in Full Moon. Yeah, it's a very strange art style. And there are times when I really, really like the art. I think the art looks amazing. And the werewolf kind of bat image looks amazing.
That cover is stunning, I think.
Yeah, but then there are times in the book I look at it and I think, oh, this looks cack. Like there's a full page spread of him as the werewolf Batman. It looks like a big gerbil. It just doesn't. It looks weird, I'm not sure. Okay, bit of horrible news, guys. Bit of horrible news. 2 interesting stories this week. Neil Gaiman. So Efren, I know you mentioned you're not aware of this. Neil Gaiman, massive prophylactic. Can't say the word.
My favorite author.
Author.
My always of all time, like all my all-time favorite author.
He's written some amazing stuff. Good Omens, Sandman.
Stardust.
Coraline.
Yeah.
And then there's been rumblings for a good few months now about misconduct. Worth saying, just to cover, it's all just allegation at this point. He's not been proven or convicted of anything. But the allegations have all started to kind of snowball about him. And I think there's 3 or 4 individuals now who've worked with him or have been employed by him in some way, shape, or form, as nannies or as fans or assistants or whatever. And they've all come out and said that he's sexually assaulted them. And that his practices, the things he's done, has been pretty darn weird and dark at times. So yeah, it's all just a bit shit. Again, I am very mindful, of this whole kind of innocent until proven guilty. But it feels like there's a lot of weight of stuff coming out against him.
8 women.
Is it 8? Is it?
Wow. I believe there's something there. This is the first time I feel that this has happened to someone I really love. Like usually it's someone you're familiar with. Oh, that's not that surprising. Oh, wow, did you see that? But this one really hurts. And it's weird because I think when you love what someone does that much that you want to jump to their defense.
Yeah.
So I feel very conflicted here where I'm like, I really would love that this isn't true, but it's just seeming that at least parts of it are, and that's heartbreaking. So yeah, I'm very sad about this one.
Yeah, I mean, Fuzzy's saying here the article is harrowing read. Yeah, it's extremely long, but needs to be read. Excuse me. Yeah, it's the stuff within the article that I read was really quite graphic and quite disturbing in terms of what he was doing to people and making people do. The opposite side to it, just to give both sides, I guess, is at what they're trying, what his defense or the people who are defending are saying is that he's going through a particularly challenging divorce at the moment. And it's been suggested that his ex-wife or current wife, is behind some of this in terms of trying to get people's views and voices on him. Whether that's true, not true, God only knows. But that's the kind of the other side of what's being alleged. Either way, it's another iconic individual, another hero of a lot of people who seems to be going through this shit because he can't keep his bits in his pants. How often is this going to happen? Surely to God, people are starting to wake up and realize that that time of Hollywood is gone. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I don't know. I think it's just awful.
I think when you want something, you can justify it in your own head, though. Do you know?
Yeah.
So.
Terrible. Yeah. The guy's proper scum. No reason to believe him over a slew of victims. Yeah, that's very true. He's not denied anything. Just said it was all consensual. Yeah, he's an oddball. Bollocks to him. One of my favorite writers, and the allegations are some of the worst things I've had to read. Should they be true?
I've not gone into it now. I literally heard about this 25 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that there was more stuff. I'm like, oh no.
So I'm going to say something really unkind, and I'm being really generalist here. Do you know when people are into certain kinds of media, like goth girls or goth people, you kind of assume in your head they might be into darker elements of sexual activity and stuff like that. You make that generalization.
Yeah.
He's a very kind of dark, gothic kind of individual. So a lot of the things that have been alleged about him and his behaviours kind of went, oh yeah, he would be into that. Do you know what I mean? And that again, I might be completely wrong, but I wasn't surprised by some of the things that were said. Just awful. So again, as usual, we'll see how it all plays out.
I'm gonna feel sick reading this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna feel sick. No.
Such a shame.
Yeah.
The other thing, which I found really weird this week, was the Flash director says that the Flash movie failed because people just don't care about the Flash. So the Flash film was shit because the audiences didn't support it because we don't like the Flash. Efren, what are your thoughts on that?
First of all, when I seen this a couple of days ago, I'm going, this movie came out like about 2-3 years ago. Why are you talking about it now? Yeah. And I do not believe that people don't care about the Flash. He's a great character. If it's not a well-written film, or if the actor has all these allegations thrown against him, I think people are turned off more by that than the character itself. I think he's an entertaining character. If there's a good script written, I think people, will go see a character, So I just think it's all off. I just found it weird that he talks about this movie that's been out like 2-3 years now. Who cares?
Exactly.
And the Flash TV show was excellent. I loved it, and the actor says he wouldn't mind returning.
Yeah, Grant.
Grant. If they asked him to do it, so.
Yeah. What do you think, James?
I see what he's saying. That there's a lack of public interest in the character, but like that's you make a great movie, you like any Guardians of the Galaxy, like no one knew who that was beforehand, so you could say people didn't care about that, but that came out and people loved it. So I see. I think I really loved that film when I went to see it initially. I've not seen it since, and I feel like I'll probably knock it down a few pegs. I don't think it's everyone was saying really horrible things about it. I didn't agree with that. But it was in this weird place where like the Snyderverse was cancelled. People were kind of angry about that. We already knew that this was wrapping up and the James Gunn thing was going to start. So like, I think that was another reason. There was like, the Ezra Miller thing is a whole separate thing. Yeah. So there was like just kind of a cauldron of weird reasons why it didn't. So this might be one, but I don't think you could pin this movie's failure on one specific thing.
I mean, let's all remember Iron Man was a B-list character before that movie came out. He wasn't like top notch. So
I think you're absolutely right, Efren. So I get quite angry about this because I've got strong views on the Flash as a movie. I love the character of the Flash, but as Fuzzy says, I don't think many people refer to him as an A-list superhero. I don't think he's got that kind of cinematic pull power. But neither did Iron Man. Nobody cared for an Iron Man movie. Who was really hankering for a Blade movie when it came out? Guardians of the Galaxy is a great example. They don't have to be a top tier characters to get people on seats. This movie failed because 1, Ezra Miller, 2, shocking special effects. I know you liked it, James, but you're wrong.
Nope, I won't defend the special effects.
Shocking special effects and a story that was just pretty meh. This didn't fail because nobody's interested in the Flash. It failed because everything else was stacked against it. If it had had a different lead, would it have done better? I still think it would have struggled because I still think it was just a subpar film, to be honest.
Unfortunately, what's happened now with this Flash as a character, even if they try to make a new movie, I don't think it would get far because to them, Flash is a failure now.
Yeah.
I mean, if he ever comes out again, it would be like as a not as a main character.
I think the Flash does have like people know who the Flash is. Like sure. He has that name recognition. Like you ask your grandparents who the Flash is, they'll know. Oh, red suit kind of thing. Like he has that that brand recognition. So like it's not. But I do think you're right, Efren, that like there's a bit of a stink on him right now. So you'll have to wait a few years. Maybe that would be better to do a show with instead. Like do
maybe focus on Wally West this time.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good. I just think the arrogance of it, saying instead of holding your hands up and saying, the film had issues. No, it's because the audience doesn't like the Flash.
He did. There was another. He blamed it on something else not too long ago as well. Like it was an explanation for why the CG was crap. He said it's on purpose, and I sort of get what he means, but I think that's that's at a point they decided it's
so he shot himself right in the foot with that. He said the CGI is shite because when you're in the Speed Force, it's meant to look all blurry and strange.
Yeah.
And the counter to that is, well, what's the excuse for the start of the film where it's not in the Speed Force and you've got weird bouncy babies and things?
True.
Okay, just going to quickly jump to the comments here, guys. Let's have a look. Aussie SE, just talking about Neil Gaiman. One last thing I've got to mention: Neil's family was, I didn't know that, was Scientologists, and he's indoctrinated young. I did not know that. That's interesting. That is interesting. Von Hood, I couldn't agree more. He made a shit movie. He needs to get his head out of his arse. Yeah. Pat Bear, probably The Flash failed because Ezra Miller is more of an oddball than Neil Gaiman and turned people off going to see it. I think that had a big part to play in it. I think
it's funny though, because you would feel like the Michael Keaton Batman thing would have counteracted some of that.
I think it did. I think the bums that went to see The Flash are a lot of people. Sorry, the bums on seats. I mean, not bums as in the people that went to see The Flash were people like me who like the Flash as love the Flash as a character, but I was going to see Keaton as Batman.
Yeah,
that was the draw for that film, and I would imagine it was the same for a lot of people. And it turned out to be a colossal disappointment. It's his job to make people care. He has to convince Joe Blogs to spend their cash, and he didn't. Exactly. Terry, I have it sealed in a DVD yet to watch. I would leave that cellophane on, Terry. Leave the cellophane on. Oh, we've got to say, I'm nice to see you. Hope you've had a lovely trip. Dr. Von Hoot, The Flash lasted 10 years on CW because people watched it. It's just because it's a bad flick. Good point. The Flash goes back to the 1940s, so someone cares. Yeah. I'd love the first appearance of the Flash. We were talking about that last night. Ask your grandparents. That's a bold claim there, Simon.
No, it's just, you know what I mean, though? It's ingrained in pop culture that much that, like, you watch Catch Me If You Can, there's references to the Flash and that, like, you know, so.
Fuzzy saying that Neil Gaiman's parents were the top Scientologists in the UK. That is interesting. Yeah. Okay, so jumping from Ezra Miller to these two. It's an interesting link. You guys seen this one yet? Monsters Season 2?
No. I've heard about it, but I've never seen it, you know, so.
So I was completely oblivious, really, to these two guys, and it wasn't until James mentioned it to us the other day that we were interviewing someone who had an interesting story about their father, the guy who was murdered, in terms of them being out for dinner when the phone call came in to say that he'd been shot, or he was meant to come to dinner, wasn't he, James? And he'd been shot.
It was. We're doing I'll Be Right Back on Friday night too, and Peter Vincent,
Rodney
McDowell was meeting with their dad like earlier that day and that it's the whole reason like Friday Night 2 didn't nearly went straight to DVD and didn't get distribution, and there was never a part 3 and stuff, is because of this murder. So I was wondering, I my first thing I asked you was like, is that referenced in this? Is there
no, it's not.
Friday Night at all? No, okay.
No, it's not. This is well worth a watch. I wasn't really familiar with their story at all. Efren, I don't know, because obviously this was an American murder and it was big news back in the States. Are you familiar with the case at all? Are you aware of them?
Yeah, I'm aware of the case. I believe it happened here in California, I believe. And, I'm aware of them. You know, I never really read into them, but I know they murdered their parents, and I think they're coming up for parole pretty soon. I'm not sure if they're going to be set free or what.
So they were given life without parole, but every few years there's an attempt to try and get them out, as it were. It's a really interesting series, 8 episodes, I think. Some superb performances in it. Some pretty graphic and violent death scenes. The kind of show the same scene from 3 or 4 different viewpoints of what could have happened, if that makes sense. So you see the deaths on a couple of occasions. They have claimed that they acted in self-defense because the parents were child molesters and abusive. There's an entire counter to that saying that's an entirely fabricated story. There's no evidence of that at all. They did it. They did it purely for the financial gains because they wanted to get the parents' money and things like that. Interestingly, I think Fuzzy's just mentioned it here. It's also scandalous. Idiots like the Kardashians claim they should be released. They killed the parents. That's proven. Claim their abuse is sad. Doesn't mean you can murder. Absolutely. So this is one of those weird cases that's kind of garnered loads of celebrity and press and political attention because basically they're famous. And people pushing for them. There's never been any question as to whether they did or didn't kill the parents. They initially claimed that it was a mob hit. And they made the phone call and screaming and crying and all that kind of stuff, and then subsequently confessed to a psychologist months later that actually it was them that killed the parents. And then that all came out in court, so they had to turn around and say, "Oh, actually, we made it all up." And then they said, "Yes, we did kill the parents." And then later on, months later, once the solicitor got involved, changed the story to say, "Actually, we've always been abused." And all the rest of it. There's a whole other backstory about basically the lawyer that they got had getting off a previous murder guy by claiming he was a victim of abuse, and they only ever mentioned abuse once she got involved with the case, and there was never any evidence presented. The first trial, they couldn't get a verdict. The second trial, all the abuse stuff was taken out of the equation because one of the brothers had rang his girlfriend after the first trial and said, "This is fantastic. They've eaten out my hands. I've said this, I've said that." And basically she wrote a book about it, basically saying that he played the entire jury and they couldn't admit that in court. So it was just, it's just a really interesting story. The reason I'm mentioning this really is, James, I think this is something we should probably do over on One Good Scare reviews of these, because either the next season or the season after this
Ed Gein
is Ed Gein, and
Charlie Hunnam.
I'm a massive. I've read the graphic novel of the Ed Gein story, and it's friggin' horrific. This is the guy that they based Texas Chainsaw Massacre on. When they arrested him, they found tables and lampshades made out of human flesh in his house. So it's really dark stuff. But
I've still not watched the first one either. I've not watched the Dahmer one.
Superb. The Dahmer one's superb.
I would actually, I could see myself taking a few days and binging this.
Yeah, I love. I don't love's the wrong word. I enjoy true crime kind of stuff. The bit you get stuck on with things like this, it's obviously a dramatization.
Sure.
So you start kind of questioning what happened, what really happened, and where's the truth in it, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, well worth a watch if you like that kind of stuff. I particularly enjoyed it. Just wanted to mention, Ultimate Wolverine 1 was out today. Sorry, Fuzzy's just saying I didn't know there was an Ed Gein graphic novel. Oh, it's superb. It's can't remember who the publisher is, Fuzzy. I'll send you a picture of it. The title of the book is "Did You Ever Hear What Ed Gein Done?" It's like a interesting way of phrasing it. Yeah. It's a really, really good book. It's all in black and white. It tells you the full story. It's excellent. I'll send you an image, Fuzzy. So Ultimate Wolverine #1 came out this week. This is the ultimate version of Wolverine, where basically he's taken by the Russians, by Colossus and his team, and turned into their version of the Winter Soldier. The first issue of this pitted him against Nightcrawler and Mystique, and it was great. Really, really enjoyed it. Gives you a bit of his backstory. I thought it was really interesting.
Is it Logan? That's the Wolverine?
Yeah, so they refer to him as Logan in it.
Okay.
Yeah. There's another Superman trailer just out, 1 minute 28. Got a couple of extra scenes, fractions of seconds, but no crypto. Yeah. So well worth a read, this one. I really, really liked this one. Okay, guys, we're near the end. Please do stick #BornAgain in the comments, and we'll draw some comics in just a minute. I wanted to mention this, guys. I'm a big fan of an artist called Mark Spears, who's done the Monsters covers. I've prattled on about him on a few covers. He's now doing a couple of Thundercat issues and things like that. This one is coming out soon. It's pretty spectacular. What do you guys think of that image of Mum-Ra?
It's very good. I like the color use.
Yeah, I think it's nice. The reason I'm putting on it is, I guess I wanted to know your take on this. Now, we all know about variant covers. Mm-hmm. This is cover 1. And then I've squashed these covers down. But these are all the different versions of the same cover. Different foils, different color backgrounds, different shading, some with trade dress. So all the same bloody image, just computer colored slightly differently. Now they've done the same with a Silverhawks book of Mark Spears, exactly the same, an image on the front, and then about 10 different color versions or variants behind it. I don't know. I like this cover. I'm really keen on getting a cover, but it's like, are they just taking the piss now? What do you think?
This does feel more cash grabby than like I know you have the regular and then the blank, or not the blank, the virgin, and then you do like a black and white. Sometimes they do a black and white or a sepia color one, or a sketch version of it or something like that. This feels very cash grabby because like even like when you look at the middle one there, it just looks like that's been photoshopped over like a plain logo. Do you know what I mean?
My fear is I'm going to buy all of these.
Oh, you will.
I know.
Because you can't help yourself, Peter.
I know. I love his artwork, but I mean, I've no issue with variant covers, but this is literally just changing the color slightly in it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if it's just it winds us up a little bit. Megatheron, nice to see. It's a bit like Andy Warhol. Yeah, it is. You're right. It is. Von Hoot, did you get the Virgin Shark Mark Spears from Sad Lemon? No, I didn't get that one. I'll be honest with you, Von Hoot. It's scaring us how many of these I'm willing to pick up, so I'm trying to keep off them a little bit. I hope they are paying them. Let's take the mick out of variant collectors. I'm a variant collector, unfortunately, at times, Terry. That's the problem. So yeah, I don't know, guys. I think this feels like a bit of a Mickey take. And is this going to be the new standard that you just always get hundreds of the same cover, just slightly different colored? Who knows? Right, guys. Hashtag born again. We're going to draw some comics just whilst I'm getting all set up. Have you guys got anything you want to talk about? Any news or any comics? Just before we do that, Fuzzy is saying Dynamite Comics always do this. They've got ratios 1 and 4, 1 and 7, 1 and 10, 15, 20, 25, etc. It's a bit much. Yeah. Okay. Anything from you guys before we move on?
I got some comic books you guys want to see that I got recently.
Show us some
channel, but I don't think everybody watches my videos on my channel. Doing myself.
I watched them, Efren. I watched them.
I got these from San Diego Comic Con. No, I didn't. Not San Diego Comic Con, but the person who sells them is Near Mint. Plus, Brent, I know him, is a really good guy. And I just got these recently. I think these are Mexican books. Inside the wordings and yes, Mexican edition, but these are reprints of books that have gone, years gone by. And this one is done signed by Scott Williams. I believe it's a Jim Lee cover. Is this one right here?
Oh, nice. I like that.
And they're foil editions.
Yeah.
And here's the back of it. You can
very
see
nice.
There. Yeah.
That's very cool.
You see Scott Williams' signatures right here.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get him to come on our show to talk, but I keep forgetting to ask him. He's got a lot of cons I want to see him at. And I got 4 of them. And this one is X-Men, Uncanny X-Men #1. This is it came with a little card too. You can see it right here.
Oh, nice. Yes.
And here's the actual book.
Nice.
Cracking.
Who's the artist on that? Sorry,
this one is signed by Alex Sinclair and Scott Williams. So I believe the artist is Scott Williams and the inking is by Alex Sinclair.
Nice. I like that.
And I got 2 more. And the reason this one I really wanted, this is X-Men #4. This is the original when the cover came out.
Nice. Lovely. The Mega Red.
Yeah. Nice and shiny. That's why I buy these,
You can't beat a shiny cover. I like it.
That got my attention. And then the last one is this one right here. These are all X-Men books, obviously.
Oh, nice. Yeah. See, that's back in that's when I was really enjoying X-Men, that run. Yeah. Very nice books. I'm going to show this off again. This is finally come through the post all the way from Italy. This is my commission I got.
Oh, yes. I seen you on Instagram posting
absolutely phenomenal.
Who did the video for that? The artist did the video himself, right? He's just
no. She took some photos and she sent us the photos, and then I pulled it into a short.
Nice.
So I asked for this when we were at Thought Bubble. She only had time to do one cover, so she did Mr. Keegan's. Took mine home to do, but then she got caught up with deadlines and things like that. So she messaged us to say she was very sorry. So because it taken so long, she did a double side.
Wow.
So she's going to full image.
Well worth the wait.
I kind of wish she took my one home now.
Yeah. Do you know what? We were talking yesterday, Ephraim, weren't we, about how much you pay for commissions and things like that.
Yeah.
So this is a bona fide artist. She does work on Elvira and Judge Dredd and things like that. Dynamite. She's a lovely, lovely lady to talk to. This only cost £100.
£100.
So like
full
$80.
Everything.
Wow.
And I mean, it's absolutely stunning. So,
you're welcome for recommending her, Peter, because I did say this.
Yeah.
She's doing it. Also.
It's I would really hit her up for a commission. I think she does incredible.
Every time I see her, I'm gonna, or I might even send some stuff to her.
I'm gonna wait until like last thing on a Sunday, and then ask her to do as a commission, so she takes it home and hopefully it's delayed. Megatheron's asking in the chat. She's sent. I've got a short on. Actually, it's on my YouTube channel as well. If you want to check that out. But she basically she did a kind of a rough sketch on tracing paper and laid it over the full cover. She then did pencil sketches and then washes on it, and then colors and then paint. I don't know what kind of paint she used, but it's it's beautiful. It's really, really nice. I love it. Love it. Okie dokie. James, have you got anything you want to show off?
No, I'm not bought. I bought nerdy stuff, but none of it's come yet. So I have a World Box Kratos coming soon.
Nice.
So we're working on the 1/6 stuff at the moment. Back into that.
Nice stuff.
Okay. Back in.
Born Again. Last chance, guys. We're gonna add it to the stage now. Last second to get your names on. If you haven't already, hashtag Born Again, and then we'll pick some comics. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's draw. Best of luck, everyone. Pardon me. And our winner tonight is typical Aussie. Bless you. I've just sent you a package. I hope you've got the last package I've just sent you, mate. Let us know if it hasn't turned up yet. I sent it about 2 weeks ago, a week or so ago. But let's pick you some comics, Aussie. Ephraim, front, middle, or back? Front. James?
I will take the third book from the back, please.
Third book from the back. 1, 2, 3. Ephraim?
50th book from the... No. Just the middle.
Somewhere in the middle?
Yeah.
Mr. Keegan?
Second from the front.
Second from the front. And last one, Ephraim?
The very last book.
The very last book. Okay. So, Aussie, excuse me, Aussie, I'll still have your address, mate, so I'll just send these off to you. It might be weekend before I get them sent off. But you have got, let's have a look, make myself big. Still, all the years we've been doing this, I still press the wrong bloody buttons. So, you've got some shiny goodness. So, your fourth book from the fifth book from the back. So, your first book, I think that's a variant. So you got Void Rivals #1 variant, Sesame Street, Cybertron cover.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Void Rivals is a great series.
Yeah.
You've got some shiny goodness. Spider-Punk 1.
Oh, cool.
Foil cover. That's a nice one. I like that. You've got more shiny goodness. Flash. This was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, I believe. So that's Flash cover. You've got Power Rangers variant. This is a Del Otto limited edition cover. And you have got, Batman. Shiny, another San Diego exclusive. Nice haul there. So 3 different foils. I like that Batman one. That is shiny and nice.
Yeah, keep it.
Just
very
kept
nice.
one for yourself.
Very nice. Yeah. So they will be coming your way, mate. I will send them off, like I say, this weekend, most likely. Okie dokie, chaps. That's what coming to the end. Just as usual, a little bit of housekeeping before we head off. He did see the thing, shiny. I just wanted to give our pal Phil from Philly's Fiction a shout out. Phil has been a member of the UK comic book community for a number of years. Took part in Nerd Herd. He does some great stuff with some of the guys from the Nerd Herd. But he's kind of doing a bit of a soft relaunch of his channel. So he's changed the name to Philly Fiction. And he started putting out weekly content, basically comic book related content, which I know is bizarre these days because most people want to talk about drama rather than actual comics. But Phil is doing pure comic book content. So please do us a favor, go check out his channel, give him a sub. He's a very relaxed, laid back guy, and he's a joy to watch. Stick a comment in his chat and say that I've sent you his way, please. And just check out some of his stuff. He's great. He's done some good stuff. Nice to support him. Efren, what have we got coming up over on Past Point Comics?
Finally, I'm going to do a show on Saturday. It's my own take on comic book news, entertainment news I do with my cousin called Up on Comics. I got to stop being so lazy. Just do the shows with them. We try to do at least twice every 2 weeks. We try to do a show, just talking about some, just like this show, but it's not with you two guys, basically. So, and it's at 6 o'clock. My time, which is about 2 o'clock in the morning. If anybody's up, please check us out. We will be on this Saturday. My daughter and I, we're planning to do another video, keep it up with the LaGuardias. And hanging out with the LaGuardias has been such a long time since we did a video.
I love those ones.
And then just hanging out with you guys. I was talking to Peter yesterday, James. I want to do another video of us, the 3-question ones when we ask each other.
Oh, yeah. I enjoy that one. Yeah.
So I'll send you guys a message when you guys have time to do that. So.
My first question, Efren, you can write it down now, will be, James, how much did you spend when you were in Amsterdam when you were walking around by yourself?
Yes, exactly.
Hey, man, it was only $2 for 2 minutes. All right.
And then
2 minutes? Christ, you were being optimistic.
My question will be, come on, James, tell us the truth.
Yeah.
I was a good boy. I was mostly well behaved.
Good. Excellent effort. Loads and loads of great content over on Past Point Comics. Please do check them out. Got a great little, it's only a short video, 1.5 minutes or something, that he's put out either today or yesterday with the DC Superman trailer of all the different changes. I love that. I just
found that recently and I go, this is so cool. I just put it on my channel. And I've never seen it before. That's pretty cool.
No, neither had I. Really liked it. So please check that out. Mr. Keegan, One Good Scare. What's happening over there?
Yeah, I've been away, so I haven't had a chance to do any editing, but we have our Nosferatu spoiler review has been recorded, so that should be up in the next couple of days, and then we have Dog Soldiers. I'll be right back. We'll be this week. And then we're live on Friday, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have One Good Scare live on Friday at 9 p.m. So tune in for that. All the spooky news.
One quick question, James, are we going to continue doing videos on The Last of Us when it comes back? I really like that.
I've been having to think of it. We'll do something together.
At least one, or at the beginning, at the end, or something. Whatever. It's just my opinion,
Oh no. Whether I do it on that channel again or we'll just move it over to this or something, we'll do something.
I think we definitely have to do some kind of review show. Maybe not as many scene by scene slides, but a review of some. It would be great. Just if anything, James, just to hear Efren trying to understand how video games work is always fun. So what happens when he dies?
We might call it a review. It might be like just like live discussion or something like that. Like the next day after the episode airs.
Yeah. Good stuff. I want to talk about it. So let's definitely do something. Definitely. Do it over in One Good Scare because it is horror related, isn't it?
Yeah.
Killer Comic Show. I'm not 100% sure if we're going live tomorrow night or not. I tend to think not. So we'll probably be back next Thursday. So keep your eyes out on Instagram for that. I'm now part of the Geek Week podcast show every Sunday night, 9:30. That goes live.
Such a slut. Such a slut.
That goes live. It's nice to be popular. That goes live, like mine and Efren, when we do our show, it goes live on Jacob's channel, Sorrel's channel, and also my channel. watch it on my channel. Watch it on my channel. But yeah, so that'll be 9:30 on Sunday night. Looking forward to that. I enjoy working with those guys. They're a nice bunch.
What?
Moving on.
Nicer than us?
Myself and Afrin caught up last night and we did our usual review of comic books coming out. These ones were coming out in March. Check that out over on Efren's channel or on my channel. That was a good discussion. Lots of interesting books talked about. So please do go and have a little look-see at that. Friday, I've got my review of what I think are the 5 worst X books that have come out over the years. So that'll go live Friday night. Craigie, lots of stuff. And next year, I'm looking forward to this, Mr. Keegan.
Yes.
Next Tuesday, we are celebrating the birth of Mr. Keegan, 1995. Crikey, you're a Ben.
I did just turn 30
Whatever.
a couple days ago, so like it feels weird. I'm a couple days in my 30s.
So yeah, so we're going to be looking at all of the geeky incursions and the geeky stuff that happened in 1995. From movies to comic books to toys, games, all that kind of stuff. I really enjoy that show when we do it. I really do enjoy that show. So looking forward to doing that one with you guys. Dr. Von Hoot, remember about a month ago when Pete said, I'm cutting back on live.
I'm a bit short on time. Oh, I've joined these 2 other things.
Yes. So he's on yesterday, today, and probably tomorrow, and then Sunday. Oh my gosh. Cutting back.
What's the matter? It's just fun, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Keeps us busy, keeps us out of mischief. So yeah, looking forward to that one next Tuesday. That's your whack. Anything left to add, chaps, before we call it a night?
No, always great seeing you guys. So that's for sure.
Always fun.
I love it.
Yeah, and I appreciate you jumping on, James, when you've just headed back from.
I have cheese in my bag getting warm now. You know, I gotta put it in the fridge.
James, you say that like it should impact. I've seen your eating habits. I've seen what you devour on a night time when it's been sat in a warm room all night. So warm cheese is nothing for you.
On this trip, I also had a very shameful eating fried chicken in the bedroom moment. So I felt ashamed as I was doing it.
I can live with fried chicken. I can live with you eating fried chicken in bed. It's the dirty chicken tikka kebab thing you ate, the wrap thing.
I asked, could I have it? And you said yes.
You didn't. So you say that. You didn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. We sound like a married couple. Thank you so much to everybody that watched tonight. Really do appreciate you watching our silly little shows. It's always appreciated. And with that, we'll call it a night. So night, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.